Hello friends, we are again back with the new video, and in this video also we will take to the further steps the introduction to the GST. Okay, and here we are going to learn about the Constitution Amendment Bill and other facts. Constitution Amendment Bill, CAB, everybody says the rationale for introduction of CAB is that currently the Constitution of India does not provide for a parallel levy of indirect taxes by center and state, which is a prerequisite of the GST. To address this, CAB was introduced in Lok Sabha. Okay, this sentence is in present tense. What had happened there, there was no such authority, there was no such power which could levy the taxes on goods and services. There was indirect tax. It had its own purpose of taxation or approach of taxation, but there was no such authority, there was no such regime, there was no such bill which could empower the central government and state government to levy and collect the taxes on goods and services, and therefore there was a need for the introduction of Constitution Amendment Bill. One of the most important steps for introduction of goods and services tax, that is 122nd Constitution Amendment Bill, CAB, was introduced to introduction of the GST, for the introduction of GST, and was taken up for the discussion in the Lok Sabha. This is the date, 24th February 2015. And the discussion went on, right? The CAB enables the central and state government, including union territories, okay, to introduce law for levying GST on supply of goods and services or both. Thus, the GST regime, there will be one CGST law and one SGST law, each for the states. Now, what does this mean? The CAB Constitutional Amendment Bill, what was done in that bill? There we have empowered state government, we have empowered the central government to levy and collect the taxes on goods and services, including union territories. Union territory is controlled by central government. Okay, if it is controlled by central government will look after the levy and collection of taxes. This was given by this power was given by the Constitution Amendment Bill. Constitution is the supreme thing, and this constitution will have will empower other central government or state government to either collect or levy the taxes, right? This is done. GST definition. The term GST is defined in Article 366(12)(a) to mean any tax on supply of goods and services or both, except taxes on supply of alcoholic liquor for human consumption. Now this article defines the goods and services tax. Which article? Article 366(12)(a). This is the name of that article. Like you have chapters in your books, there are articles in the Constitution. Now this article 366(12)(a) says that any tax on supply of goods or services or both, any tax, we will call it as goods and services tax, except on supply of alcoholic liquor for human consumption. Now there is, if I speak about alcohol is used for many other purposes, but that alcohol which is used for human consumption does not fall under the GST. See, this definition directly says that alcohol does not carry GST. This definition only says, which is given in the Constitution. Okay. Now, petroleum products are not, petroleum product is not mentioned here in the GST. Electricity is not mentioned in the GST, but still, as of today, petroleum product does not carry GST. Electricity does not carry GST. It is the power of it is the matter of state government. State government looks after it. Okay, we will see that later. Thus, all supply of goods or services or both will attract CGST. CGST means Central Goods and Services Tax. Central Goods and Services Tax. CGST will be levied and collected by the central government. SGST means State Goods and Services Tax will be levied and collected by the state government. Now, service is also defined. It may be recalled that earlier 115th CAB did not provide for the definition of service, but in this amendment bill, 122nd amendment bill, service definition is given, and the definition is very, very easy. Look at the definition. Services means anything other than goods, and definition of good is given, article 366. Anything other than good is service, right? Now we will go ahead. The broad definition of the term service will altogether remove the disputes aspect, whether something is good or services. Like, you know, because we have very large country India, there are so many different, you know, minute things, micro things, where, you know, people do not only understand whether it is a good or service. Now, who will fight for that, whether it is a good or whether it is a service? That, you know, in the definition only they have said, good is this thing. Anything other than good will be service. Over everything, the whole universe is covered here, right? Then the IGST. IGST means, is it international GST? No. Is it Indian GST? No. What is it? It is integrated GST. Do not even call it as interstate or intrastate. Do not get confused. It is integrated. We are integrating the GST. That is IGST, right? IGST, at present the interstate supply of goods and services attracts central sales tax. Now CAB provides that an interstate supply of goods and services will attract IGST. Okay, IGST. And then it may be noted that IGST will be levied and collected by the center. IGST will be levied and collected by the center. Very, very important. Do not get confused. And proceeds of IGST will be shared amongst the central and state government. Proceeds means, see, if I am supplying goods, if I am supplying services, I will levy either CGST, SGST or IGST. Now here in the GST, I am telling you now, CGST and SGST both are clubbed together. Like if I purchase a mobile phone, 18% tax, I am not paying GST, I am paying CGST plus SGST if I purchase it from the local store. But if I purchase, right now I am in Karnataka, if I purchase the mobile phone from the Maharashtra, then I will pay IGST. IGST is integrated goods and services tax. Now if I purchase from Maharashtra to Karnataka, you know, two states are involved. From Maharashtra to Karnataka, supply is happening, and therefore the person who is selling me will collect IGST from me. I have to pay IGST to that person, to the seller, IGST, right? And this IGST will be levied and collected by the central government. No dispute between Karnataka and Maharashtra. Karnataka will say it is my money, Maharashtra will say it is my resource, right? So let us not fall into the disputes. Let us only focus on the central government will collect the money. Then interstate sale of goods to attract the additional tax. See, additional tax, I will read out the sentence. CAB provides that an additional tax up to 1% will be levied by the center on interstate supply of goods and not on the services. Only on goods, central government is empowered to collect extra 1% tax. Okay, the additional tax will be assigned to states from where the supply of goods originate. Now, did you understand that example? If I am taking from the Maharashtra, then Maharashtra is the original state, and for that state, that 1% extra will be going. Okay, this additional tax seems to have a new version of CST. Exactly, new version of CST. What is CST? CST, central sales tax. New version. Earlier there was, you know, the rate of CST was only 2%. Maximum in that act was 4%, but you know that was 2%. Now it is 1% reduced central sales tax. Additional tax will be applicable for a period of 2 years and could be extended further by the GST Council. It will be only, you know, the 2 years is already passed. Say 2017. 17 to 18 and 19, 2 years are passed. Now there is no sense in reading this sentence. We will go ahead. Import of goods and services. At present, import of goods and services attracts basic custom duty, BCD, additional custom duty, and special additional customs duty. At present means we are speaking about 2017, okay, before the introduction of GST. Now all the other custom duties are scrambled, are scrapped, and now only one is remaining, that is basic customs duty is still there, okay. Basic customs duty you have to pay in addition to IGST if you are importing any goods, right? So that is all about Constitution Amendment Bill in this slide. We will go ahead. Article 246 deals with the subject matter of laws made by the Parliament and by the legislatures of the states, and Article 254 with its inconsistency between laws made by the Parliament and laws made by the legislature of the states. Article 246 empowers central and state government. Please understand only this much. It empowers the central and state government and collect taxes on list of Schedule 7. That is what Article 246 says. Article 246A, this is additional, okay. This is article only. You need not get confused. Chapter name was inserted by Constitution 101st Amendment Act 2016, which was for the purpose of GST only. Article 246A provides that notwithstanding anything contained in Article 246, anything if it is not given over there, have power to make laws within the respect of goods and services tax imposed by the Union by such state. What do you mean by this? I will tell you in simple words. Earlier, before 2017 July, there was no GST. State government and central government did not have any powers to make laws for goods and services tax. Now, this article 246A empowers. It means this article gives powers to state government and central government to define their own laws regarding goods and services tax, right? This is Article 246A over. There is nothing difficult. I will read this sentence as well. The Parliament has exclusive power to make laws with respect to goods and services tax. Which Parliament we are speaking about? Both, right? And then if there is an explanation, the same thing again, right? Article 269 deals with the taxes levied and collected by the Union but assigned to states, where you can assign to states which was collected by the state governments, union territories, I'm sorry. And Article 269(1) says that taxes on the sale or purchase of goods and services, on the consignment of goods and services except IGST, shall be levied and collected by the Government of India, but shall be assigned and shall be deemed to have been assigned to the states on or after first day of April 1996 in the manner provided in clause 2. This is retrospective clause. Right, we are in 2017 right now, okay. Assume that we are in 2017, and this article says we have to go back to 1996 and then we have to assign the powers, right? Need not get confused. Unless you are a law student, don't worry about these articles. The newly inserted Article 269A provides for levy and collection of GST in course of interstate trade and commerce. Interstate means two different states, between the states. Interstate trade or commerce, GST is applicable. Who says? Article 269A says, right? And then Article 270 says that the distribution of revenues between union and state, how the distribution should be done, right? This will be told by the Article 270. Article 271 says, subarticle, that all taxes and duties referred to in the union list, except the duties and taxes referred to in Article 268, 69 and 269A respectively, surcharge on taxes and duties referred to Article 271, which is about to come now, and any cess levied for specific purposes under any law made by the Parliament shall be levied for specific purposes. Under any law made by the Parliament shall be levied and collected by the government. This is difficult language, but let me tell you in simple language. There is something called as cess, there is something called as additional tax. The tax, basic tax is there, but additionally you can charge on the supply of goods and services called as cesses, and these cesses will be utilized in a particular manner, in the manner which is given. Okay, under the specific heads you only have to use it. Who says this? Article 270 of 1. I will give you one example so that you will understand. National flood cess is a cess. Flood cess, or you can even say Kerala flood cess. In the year 2018 we had seen that Kerala was suffering from the floods. Now Kerala government has, it has the power, it has the power which was given by Article 246A. It has the power to amend this GST law and assign this extra cess. Cess means CESS. This cess is extra taxes which is levied on goods and services for the purpose of Kerala flood only. They cannot use this fund for any other purposes. One more example, Swachh Bharat cess, which is assigned by the central government. Swachh Bharat cess. Now this Swachh Bharat cess means it is such taxes which is collected from the normal person, from the common person, from the citizens of India, which is only used for the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, and it cannot be used for any other thing. Education cess. Education cess means that says that money is only collected for the educational purposes and nothing other. You cannot utilize this money to make the roads. You cannot utilize this money to make the gutters, sewages. No. Hope this is understood. This is Article 270 and bracket 1. Article 279A GST Council, very important. Article 279A, that empowers, that gives the power to look into the matter of GST. Article 279A GST Council is formed. Article 280, Finance Commission. Finance Commission will assign the revenue to the state governments for every 5 years or as such period deemed necessary by the President of India. For every 5 years, Finance Commission will look into the matter where state government is the state government receiving correct money, right? This is all about GST Council and Finance. See, all about GST Council and Finance Commission, which will be continued later. We are still into the Constitution Amendment Bill. Okay. Now, Constitution Amendment Act 2017. What it says? Article 286 deals with the restrictions as to imposition of tax on the sale of purchase of taxes, sale of purchase of goods. There are some restrictions. You cannot purchase these goods or those services. You cannot avail. Who says this? Article 286. You cannot purchase all the goods. No, there are restrictions. Article 286(1) says, no law of a state shall impose or authorize the imposition of tax on the supply of goods or of the services or both where such supply takes place outside the state. Please remember, outside the state and in the course of the import of the goods. What do you mean by this? No state have the power to tax the transactions which are happening outside the state. I am in Karnataka. I am the central government. I am the state government of Karnataka. In the Karnataka, whatever transactions are happening, you can tax that. If something happens in West Bengal, can you tax it? No. It is common sense, right? Now, if there is transaction happening between Karnataka and West Bengal, can you tax it? The answer is no. You know why? It is because Article 286 sub-article 1. It says, no state has the power, no law of a state shall impose or collect the taxes, number one, outside the state. And second part, imports. See, Goa is a state. Goa is a state, but there is a seaport. There is also airport. If anything is imported there in the Goa, can Goa government has the power to levy and collect the taxes on such imports? No. Central government, it is a matter of central government. Goa government will not look after that matter. Article 286 of 2 says that Parliament may by law formulate the principles for determining when a supply of goods or services or both takes place in any of the ways mentioned in the clause 1 above. See, when the tax is levied, and how the tax is levied, what the tax is levied, what percentage the tax is levied, everything will be dealt by the law. And this law will be made by the respective states. Central government will make its own law, state government will make its own law for levy and collection of taxes. Levy means imposition, levy and collection of taxes, right? We'll go ahead. Article 366 defines some words. That is where we were speaking about it. It defines the words of goods and services tax, right? Other things you need not worry about that. I'll go ahead. Alcohol for human consumption. It appears that alcohol for human consumption, Article 366 does not say that article, GST is applicable on that. Will be kept outside the GST regime. If you want to tax, if you want to levy GST on this alcohol for human consumption, you have to amend the constitution. There is no other way. Understanding? Is excluded from the GST. Keep this in mind. Petroleum products and tobacco. See, this is not given in the articles, but yes, CAD specifically provides that the petroleum products may not attract GST, may not. However, at a larger state, GST Council may decide. GST Council has the power to whether to bring petroleum products and tobacco under the GST. Right? Now we are speaking about role of GST Council. What is this GST Council all about? We will first see what is the GST Council. Article 279A. The President of India, President shall within 60 days from the date of commencement of the Constitution 101st Amendment Bill or Act 2017 by order constitute the Council. Within 60 days from passage of that Constitution Act, he has to formulate the GST Council. Right, and in that council, Union Finance Minister will be our chairperson, and Union Minister of State in charge for Revenue and Finance will be the member, and member in charge for Finance and Taxation or any other minister nominated by each state will be the members. Right, sir? Again, GST Council will be formed by President. Who is the chairperson? Finance Minister of India, Union Finance Minister of India. And who are the members in that council? Every state will have their own finance ministers. Such person will be member in this GST Council. GST Council is over, right? Then we were speaking about the role of GST Council. See, look at the questions, key aspects like how the GST model law would be. Which taxes, cesses, surcharges will be subsumed in the GST? Which goods and services are subject to or to be exempt from the GST? What will be the rate of GST including floor rates, the GST rates? And what will be the threshold limit for the GST? Everything will be decided by the GST Council and many other things. Not only this, these are the basic key concepts. Like you need not worry about all these things unless you are a law student. Then compensation to the states for deficit of collection of taxes. On recommendation of the GST Council, Parliament shall provide for compensation to the states for loss of revenue. Friends, one question may be there in your head, and that question is, sir, why this GST Act was introduced in 2017 and why not earlier? In the history part of our classes, video classes in the history, I had told you that GST is being discussed in the central government since 1986. Then why did you wait till 2017? There is only one reason, that we did not have a perfect model for GST, number one. Number two, states. India is a very large country and very diversified country. We have, resources, beautiful resources, human resource and all other resources located, situated all over the India. States would lose its revenue. States would have lost its revenue, and therefore GST was not introduced. There was a notion in the central government's mind that GST earlier, they thought that GST is only one thing. Like, only one model, there is only one model of GST. But the, next version of GST said that there will be two layers for that GST. One is central government, another is state government. They will look after the matters. But still many states were fighting for revenue because they would lose the revenue if the GST was introduced. And therefore government said, let us do one thing, we will make a separate act called GST Compensation Act 2017, which will say that for next 5 years we will be compensating you all the losses that you were suffering due to introduction of the GST. See, from 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 till 2022, central government has to pay to all such states where they are losing their revenue, right? So GST Compensation to States Act 2017 was introduced, right? 115th the CAB did not provide any compensation to the states, but 122nd bill, yes, it provided. For how many years? For 5 years, right? So that's end for this video. So far we have studied the constitutional framework, the Constitutional Amendment Bill and Constitution Amendment Act 2017, GST Council formation and the constituents of that GST Council we have seen, and then GST Compensation Act, Compensation to States Act 2017 that we have learned for this video. Okay, so we will continue our introduction part for the GST in the next video.